Alright, welcome. Today we're going to be reading Zelda hot takes until I find something that isn't cold, that will actually make the community burn up in flames, that will make me punch my screen, all of that. So, first of all, Twilight Princess is everything Ocarina is, but basically better in every way. Reasonable, because Ocarina was the blueprint. So yeah, I think A Link Between Worlds is the best 2D Zelda. I agree. This is normal. It's the newest one too, if you're not counting Triforce Heroes, but the multiplayer games, no one cares about them anyway. If someone said the multiplayer games were the best game, that would be a hot take. But this is true. This is just objectively true, bro. Minish Cap and Vati deserve another game. Yeah, you're basically yeah, of course they do. This isn't controversial. Like, oh my god, Nintendo doesn't have a plan and they don't care about existing lore and just make whatever game they want and explain it the best because they don't care. That is reasonable. This is what half the yeah, look, this isn't hot. This is just correct. This is what half the lore community says. Actually, 100% of the lore community says. No, the music is the best part of Zelda, above story or gameplay. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, I was gonna end the video right there, but he is right. The music is amazing, and if you're being like that. Woo, that's close. Zelda music's part of nostalgia. Agreed. Yeah, Zelda music's fantastic. I had a phase of only listening to Zelda music. The story or gameplay, it might have the most longevity if that's what you mean. Like the amount of music they made is like the music they made is great. Like I might still listen to songs and not play the games. I like Triforce Quest in Wind Waker. Great sea theme stops. Sure. I find the voice of Zelda in Breath of the Wild to be annoying in a way I cannot understand. Yes, I agree. I agree. Well, not yes, the fake British accent. It is so fake. Oh my god. But like, yeah, it's just fake, and it sounds very like whiny in a way. This person said breathy. I'm gonna agree to an extent. Um, Even Tide was too easy. Yeah, it had a lot of missed potential. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I actually agree with your hot take. Whatever. All of the changes to the series we're seeing are necessary improvements, minus no real dungeons. Yeah, things have to change eventually. I agree that some people are stuck up on the old. Some people, but they're reasonable too. All the changes we're seeing are necessary improvements, minus no real dungeons. Yeah, Zelda would fade into obscurity and hold no weight. That's why like I'm just saying that's reasonable. Uh, Spirit Tracks is underrated. Said everyone ever. Skyward Sword's motion controls are. I mean, I personally don't like Spirit Tracks. It was my first Zelda game, but I still don't like it. Skyward Sword's motion controls are great and a good example how motion controls could enhance gameplay and make it more intuitive. Yeah, that's the game was built off of that, and that was reasonable. And you know, it's fun. Wind Waker HD is actually flawless. The enhanced speed of the Sailor, it was an upgrade. That is very true. Skyward Sword's motion controls were nearly not that bad. I've heard that twice now. I prefer Zelda 2 over Zelda 1. That's reasonable as hell. Zelda 1's personal. I love Zelda. Zelda 1 might be my favorite game of all time. It's up there. But Zelda 2 is a fantastic game. Like how much they added onto that, and it has so much. There's so much to that game. Yeah. Wind Waker should be a primary inspiration for the next open world Zelda game. Uh, Primary inspiration for the next open world. If you mean like, okay, I might end it here, but if you mean like we want something that's like a big open sea to explore and a bunch of individual islands, like we basically got that in Skyward Sword to an extent, but Skyward Sword had like like the main world and then like the sky. It has the best sense of discovery in the series. Best sense of discovery. I feel like okay. Here's the thing. I feel like if they like made Wind Waker like or like a Great Sea in general to be an open world, where it has a scale of Breath of the Wild, but in Wind Waker's form, I could actually see that working. Also, Minish Cap is best 2D. That's reasonable. It has the best sense of discovery in the series. This person disagrees. But yeah, if honestly, if there was a pirate game that had the scale of Breath of the Wild, where you could, go in the sea, that would be pretty good. So I'm actually, that's reasonable. But then again, this is primary inspiration. Ooh, that's a good one, Mr. Deleted. I respect that. That might actually be a. Is that hot? I don't. Oh my god. I I agree, but it might be hot. Okay, we'll see. I don't know if Hyrule Warriors games, but I prefer Age of Calamity over the original. Sure, they're pretty interchangeable. Breath of the Wild is not the best mainline title. It never was. There's a strong argument for A Link to the Past in every improvement. OT deserves a proper remaster, not on the 3DS. Fairly reasonable. Too many people get hung up on the 3 day cycle. As long as you know the inverted song of time, yeah, the people are just noobs. Motion controls, whatever. Breath of the Wild went too far with its changes in the series, said everyone ever. Okay, Breath of the Wild is mid. That might, ooh, that okay. I agree, but that might be the hottest one I've seen so far. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is cold. Isn't hot in the slightest. Breath of the Wild is mid. Um, it, it pretty much is, but a lot of people say Breath of the Wild is overrated, so I'm just gonna move on. I hate the idea of the official Zelda timeline. Every lore master ever, including me, I was a lore master at some point. Um, so Skyward Sword's motion controls aren't that bad. Twilight Princess would have been better without Ganondorf in it. Fee is more annoying than any other companions. Spirit Flute isn't that hard to use. Water dungeons aren't nearly as hard. Bongo Bong is one of the easiest bosses. I agree. Um, TP and Breath of the Wild have the best fanfic. The hell do you mean? Cass is not the best NPC in Breath of the Wild. Sure, I don't care. Majora's Mask is the best Zelda game, and being able to transform into other. Yeah, this is so cold, and this is just correct. I care about the music and lore way more than the gameplay. Sure, we've met a lot of people like that. Well, I love Breath of the Wild. This isn't what 3D Zelda games become. I miss having actual temples and accumulating gadgets as the game progresses. Yeah, you more Metroidvania Zelda. Orochi games are better than any 3D Zelda. Yeah, my boy, my boy. I can't upload this. I can't. But I love the Oracle games. That this is so true. But that is very hot. That is better than any 3D Zelda game. But I'm not inclined to call any of these. This game is the best in the series. Takes hot because there's always a community for any game. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a community for every game. So I do like I don't think these are hot. You know, Minish Cap is the best 2D Zelda game. Yes. I 100% get why each game is set during a different era, so the devs have free reign to be as creative as they want. However, I wish the Spirit spent more time on each era. This is a personal preference. Yeah, you're right. Durability is actually a side problem of the enemies being too bulky. Yeah. Disagree on TP being OT better. OT has better pacing. Yeah, sure. My hot take is that Breath of the Wild is just an open game with nice graphics and not really a Zelda game. That is just reasonable. Minda's the best companion. That is what everyone says Minda's the best companion, so you're wrong. That's not hot. Breath of the Wild is good and a good Zelda game. Yeah. Breath of the Wild is too much like Skyrim with a texture pack. Yeah. I like the Water Temple and Great Bay. In fact, they might be the best dungeon in the series. I'm inclined to agree. Breath of the Wild story is hands down my favorite in the What? I love the whole concept. Um, uh, 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 I don't know, man. The whole point of Breath of the Wild is they kind of sacrifice story for an open world. I don't know if that can be, and that might be hot because a lot of people do say Breath of the Wild story is not the strong suit. But sure, there could have been more, and the game does lend itself to situations where there can be large gaps. I love the whole concept of waking up after something catastrophic happened and trying to piece together the events of 100 years ago, and how we ended in that situation. It has an optional story, but is it the best tale? Okay, honestly, this man's kind of convincing me. It is hot, but he's kind of convincing me. By he is defending himself well. I will say that this like this concept is pretty good. I'm inclined to agree. Um, God, when am I gonna find like a? Okay, I want. Okay, let me swing his peak 2D. Okay, can I like find something screen punch worthy? Please, bro. Please, please. I have a couple ones. I don't hate the Divine Beast. I think they are fine dungeons. I only wish they were a bit longer or more of them.